again, everybody, and welcome to Mirror TV on the YouTube channel. Week 14 of the high school football season. We are coming down to the finish line. We're down to 2 games. We are joined again, who is off on adventures around the world, Mike Boydum, everything high school football. My name is Scott Franca. Before we start here, the gauntlet has been thrown down, and we are throwing it down for all of our faithful watchers. Now, we don't expect this for this year, but starting next year, the cups, which we so loved, Mike and I have so loved these cups and everything, but it's been replaced because we have been given a Kimmel football helmet. So, starting next year, we believe now that we feel that we are going to ask for football helmets to be donated or dedicated to this show. We will obviously need a bigger table because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 8 cups, and if we get 8 football helmets, you're not going to be able to see Mike and I on the Mirror TV on YouTube.
We could do the matchups.
We could, and I don't know if Mike tried on, but I tried it on, and it doesn't fit my head. When I was in 9th grade at BG, I had to wear like a 12th grade helmet because my head was so big. My family could tell you stories about that. But anyways, thank you very much. I wish we knew who the Claysburg people were who brought this in. We know it was given to a gentleman that works in our press room, and he brought it out, and he said the gentleman gave it to him, said, hey, give this to those guys for their show, and we don't want it back, you can keep it. So God bless them. We love that helmet. It's really cool. It is in our sports department up on one of the little cabinets over there that overlooks the sports department. Anyways, though, if we have to move it out of the way here, I'll move it out of the way for Michael here. We only have 3 teams left in our area. Coverage. We're going to talk about the first game. We'll save the big game for second. But this is the PIAA 6A playoffs. State College is taking on Pittsburgh Central Catholic, and this is usually at this point of the year where we end up seeing State College come up against some really tough opponents. Pittsburgh Central Catholic is the Whitfield champ. State College is the District 6, I guess, 6, 8, 10. Is that how they go? What are their chances this week?
Well, this is the round that they've lost in the last couple years. Dominating performance against Delaware Valley last week has got to give them some confidence. But interesting note, we were talking about this in the newsroom before the video. Pittsburgh Central Catholic's game, district championship game. I drove past it coming into the Pittsburgh airport at 10:30. It was just getting started.
Is that the one in Hinesfield?
Yeah, the game at Hinesfield. The game didn't end until around midnight. So it was a really late start and got some controversy on social media because people didn't think a high school football game should be starting that late. But I don't think that they'll have a super late start this week, as these 2 teams. They're used to being at this point, and it should be a very high-quality football game.
And where's the game being played at?
I haven't had a chance to look at that.
Okay, I threw Michael because I didn't know either, but I was just curious because obviously they're not going back to Hinesfield, and State College isn't getting anywhere around here to host, and I was hoping at least State College, hopefully their fans are traveling. But if State College gets over this hump, then it's the semifinals after that, right?
Yep.
And do we know where the brackets are, like who they would play, or?
They will have a strong challenge no matter who they play.
Probably somebody from Philly.
They have been stopped at this point the last 2 seasons. Now it's been Pine Richland who lost to Central Catholic in the final 10-7. But if State College gets past this point, I think anything beyond this point is a win for them.
Now, our next game is the big one we're talking about. We're going to put our BG Cup out front here. And we don't have a Juniata Valley Cup to put out next to it, which is kind of funny because according to our social media things here, Juniata Valley is like our biggest fans on this show. I'm told they leave all kinds of nice comments. They retweet it. And yet we have no green and white cup. And I feel bad asking Coach Musser or asking someone to ask Coach Musser for a cup. But if they win this week, then, I'd love to get a cup. And if they don't win this week, we would still take a cup. We're that wanting a cup so much. But this game last year, was a semifinal game, correct?
Yes, it was.
And that was at Mansion?
it was, although Juniata Valley was the higher seed, it was
Yeah.
supposed to be in Alexandria.
But because of the
because
weather?
of weather, it was supposed to be moved to Hollidaysburg. Hollidaysburg couldn't host it, so it ended up being a home game for Bishop Guilfoyle, and Juniata Valley still won 9-3.
Yeah, and Mike covered that game. And Mike, you're covering the game again this Friday?
I actually didn't cover the game last year, but I am covering it this year.
And you're double teaming it, right?
Yeah, John Hart.
You and John Hartsock, and that game is Friday night at Mansion, 7 o'clock. Juniata Valley is the high seed. Juniata Valley's not the high seed. Okay, I apologize.
The roles are reversed this year. This
Okay.
year, BG is the top seed.
And Juniata Valley faced a little adversity in their last game. They had to come back in the second half. BG's kind of won convincingly. I mean, is it easy to say if BG can't run the ball that Juniata Valley's going to be in good shape? Because if you force them to throw, that's not their.
Well,
cup of
remember,
tea.
from John's story from last week, Keegan Myrick got hurt in the third quarter. Now, I've talked to Coach Wheeler, and he said that he can't imagine anything keeping Keegan out of this game this week. But if he's compromised, Bishop Guilfoyle has not shown the ability to have an explosive offense without him. Coach Wheeler joked with me, I'd love to tell you my explosive offense is going to throw the ball up and down the field all game, but they've had 4 different quarterbacks this year, and their strength is their offensive line. So they're going to have to find somebody to run behind them, whether it's Myrick or Cooper Rother.
The freshman.
But Juniata Valley's physical, and they that's what they did last year. They were able to stop BG's offense, and BG got within 9 yards of winning the game, or tying it at least, but probably winning it with Colton McGee as their kicker. But they couldn't get in last year, and Juniata Valley has a lot of confidence based off of that.
Now, did you hear any rumor, and I only know this because, and I won't give his name away, but there is a BG dad who kind of bumps into me during the week, and he had said he had heard rumors that the Kesey kid might be healthy enough to come back, which I couldn't believe because I thought it was like a broken clavicle or shoulder or something like that. Had you heard anything like that, or is it basically Homan and as a quarterback?
When I talked to Coach Wheeler, he didn't mention anything about Kesey, but I mean, even when Kesey was playing, they weren't really an explosive passing offense. So, although he is a very good runner, he's run for over 400 yards this year, so that would give them an added bonus from that perspective. But then Juniata Valley, let's talk about them a little bit. We got Ryan Beatrice that just went over 1,000 yards for Juniata Valley rushing.
Brower kid.
Caden Rupert is one of the top passers in the area. He's the only one that has a chance to catch Logan Feaster as far as passing yards for the season. You got Gabe Brower. He runs the ball, catches the ball, and that's the whole thing. With Kesey, even if he does return a quarterback, you have Hunter Johnson and Gabe Brower as their defensive backs, and these were the guys that wreaked havoc in the district playoffs last year, getting pick sixes left and right against United in that district championship game. So their secondary is going to be able to shut down the passing game. It's just a question of whether the big guys like Elliot Showalter on the line will be able to match up against Brady Bithell on the line of Bishop Guilfoyle, and who's going to win that line of scrimmage battle is really the key to the game.
And the Mustard kid was just our athlete of the week too. He's also a weapon too.
Oh, Grant Musser, he can do it all. He plays tight end. He's a good defender.
Long snapper, I understand too.
He's thrown 2 touchdown passes this year. He's run the ball recently, he's just a really good athlete. He's a good basketball player too. He was on their district championship basketball team last year, and that's just what Coach Wheeler said. Juniata Valley has so many athletes at their skill positions, and it'll be a big challenge. The one thing you got to wonder about is, Wheeler isn't saying that the team did this, but did BG look past Juniata Valley last year? Because they had really beaten them lopsidedly for the past few years. They went into that game last year, and Juniata Valley knocked them off. And Wheeler said that he was surprised with how physical Juniata Valley was, and I'm sure some of the team was surprised as well. But there's no element of surprise this year. Juniata Valley has got a target on their backs because Bishop Guilfoyle lost to them last year. They want to this is 2 years in a row now that they have not won the district championship after their 3 straight state championships, and they want to get back to that level. They want to get back to the district champion, and they want to get back to be in a position to play for the state title. And you know, the target, the person they have to go through to get that is Juniata Valley.
And this week, the 1 week we don't have high school picks in because we don't have enough games left over. I don't know if because Mike's covering the game. I don't know if Mike's on. I do. I somehow feel like that Juniata Valley is going to get this win. And I'm a BG alum. My nephew's on the offensive line for BG, but I just kind of keep thinking like they're going to take away the run, force BG to pass. And with Juniata Valley, you can't really take away any one thing because they'll just go to something else. But I did have, again, my BG dad, and he's nervous about it too, but he thinks BG's offensive line will be the difference in this game. But I guess that's why they play the game. We'll wait and find out. But that's it. We tried to make this show as long as we could. We could bring the Claysburg helmet back in, but we don't want to rub it into the other teams who haven't even given us cups yet, let alone have to start thinking about next year and giving us helmets. But I'm pretty sure we're going to have a show next week because we will have at least one more game to talk about, either BG or Juniata Valley.
And if State College.
And if State College wins. If not, maybe Mike and I will talk about college football or the NFL too.
What about the Ravens?
Or we could talk about the Ravens.
Best team in the NFL?
Yeah, best team in the NFL, but also technically only the second best record in the AFC. So we'll have to wait and see as we showcase our delicious looking beverage holder for the Ravens from our boss, Neil Riddell. For Mike Boydum, for our guest director, Dan Eisenberg this week, my name's Scott Franco. Thanks for watching Mirror TV on YouTube, and we'll see you next week.